Jurrien Timber's potential deal to Arsenal is hotting up. Yes, people, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you love being kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is a place where make sure you subscribe down below. We're road to 3,000 subscribers, and I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts in the comment section regarding Timber's move to Arsenal. Let's get straight into a tweet by FABRIZIO Romano stating this. Understand Arsenal are advancing on full agreement on personal terms with Jurrien Timber. The player has accepted to join Arsenal. Negotiations will follow between Ajax and Arsenal in the next hours and days. New bid expected soon. And this is positive news in terms of Arsenal, right? Because we heard a few days ago David Ornstein drop in basically a tweet at the end of the day saying Arsenal have launched a €30 million bid for Jurrien Timber. It was rejected, but Arsenal expected to follow up. And I said in that video when I covered that the way that David Ornstein and FABRIZIO Romano both molded those tweets, it sounded very positive. This wasn't a case of Arsenal just submitting a bid out of nowhere, out the blue, with no real substance behind it. This was a real intent to sign Jurrien Timber from Ajax. And it seems that Arsenal have developed that and advanced the player negotiations in terms of actually getting a deal struck between Jurrien Timber's camp and Arsenal's camp for the player to want to join Arsenal. And it's all about ironing the final details with Ajax now to get the player over the line. Look, those of you that are new around here, those of you that aren't necessarily used to the negotiation style in football, it's very different to like FIFA career mode. A lot of people in the FIFA career mode style, right, it'd be you agree a fee with the club, then you agree terms with the player. It's the complete opposite in football. More often than not, you actually agree terms with the player first, because there's no point agreeing a fee with the club and spend all that time negotiating with the club and then the player doesn't want to join. Do you get what I mean? So Arsenal have done the right thing. They've gone to the player and said, look, do you want to join us? Here's the terms we can lay out. Here's going to be a role in the team. Here's your salary. And I guess Jurrien Timber's been convinced by the project and has wanted to come on board. Now it's about Arsenal ironing out the details with Ajax to get a deal over the line for the 21-year-old centre-back / right-back. I think he'd be a brilliant signing, genuinely. I think Jurrien Timber's been one of the players that's been talked about a lot in his position. He's definitely a new mould style defender. Can play the centre-back and right-back position. Very similar in that sense to Ben White. Young as well. Captain already of Ajax. We know Arteta likes these leadership type personalities in the squad. Last season, we were good from August till March, but as soon as the April-May time hit, as soon as the pressure started to mount, you saw the lack of leaders around the football club. It got exposed a little bit. So it's good to bring in these leaders like Declan Rice, like Jurrien Timber, for example. I think it'd be perfect in that sense. And the thing with Ajax is, right, they are a team that is used to selling their top players. I mean, last season they sold Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal wanted him. Obviously, Man United came in with Erik ten Hag and his whole Ajax links and got the deal over the line. We heard Manchester United were also in for Jurrien Timber during January and last summer. A deal didn't quite materialise. It seems Arsenal sat on it. They remained interested in the player, and it's now they see him is the right time to go for him and to try and take the player off Ajax. And here's the thing, right, with Arsenal. We've got to a position now where we can agree personal terms with the vast majority of players on the market. I'm talking at least 99.9% of players. We've got Champions League football behind us. We finished second to the best team in the world, basically Man City, who just won the treble. We're a massive football club anyway in Arsenal. We've got a global fan base. Everyone would dream of playing for Arsenal Football Club. Why can't we sign these top players? This isn't the Arsenal of a few seasons back where we'd been Europa League or out of Europe even. We've got the Champions League back behind us. So I like the fact we're going for these top caliber players. These players that the top clubs want to sign. I think Jurrien Timber, if we can strike a deal on the second bid, it'll be perfect. Look, do I expect this second bid to be accepted? Not really, because Arsenal's shown with the Declan Rice type deal, right, that we seem to be very hard negotiators. We don't try to give up money up front. We try and penny pinch in a lot of facets, which has pros and cons to both methods. I already discussed the Declan Rice deal a lot on this channel, and I said, look, I think it's a real low ball offer from Arsenal, and also being a little bit disrespectful to Declan Rice's camp as well, because they would have spent time to talk with West Ham United about what type of deal we want to get over the line for Declan Rice, and then to then come with an offer that is far subpar is poor. But I said at the same time, look, I think by the fact Arsenal are penny pinching, by the fact Arsenal are taking their time with the bids and lowballing, I think they've got a feeling, a strong consensus that Declan Rice will be an Arsenal player, so they can afford to take their time. But at the same time, it's a very risky strategy. I've heard today reports that Man City are now officially entering the race for Declan Rice, and a bid will be submitted for the Englishman by Man City either today or tomorrow. And if that's the case, look, Arsenal needs to get a move on, man. You can't get complacent in football. Of all industries in the world, football is one of the least places to get complacent, man. You got Man City interested, you got Man United interested, Chelsea, you got potentially Liverpool, Bayern Munich, of course. We know they've been interested from the get-go. So although the player wants to come to Arsenal, you don't want to mess about. We've all seen the Mudryk situation. Obviously, people say it probably went in our favour given how Mudryk performs at Chelsea last season. But still, you don't want to have a similar situation with Arsenal Football Club. I want to wrap up this Declan Rice deal as soon as possible. Hopefully, that third bid Arsenal submit in the coming days will be perfect, exactly what West Ham United want, and a deal can be ironed out. Kai Havertz is already through the door as well. 65 million. You know my thoughts on that. I think it's a bit of an overpay, to be honest. but it's one of those things we've got to welcome him to the football club. And if Jurrien Timber can come as well, that's 3 massive signings coming in for Arsenal already. I expect a very, very active transfer window on Arsenal's front, to be honest with you guys. I think it's got to be one of the biggest transfer windows in our history. Genuinely. People say, oh, we made Champions League. That was the objective. It is, but the step up to then going from Champions League football to actually winning a title, winning the Champions League, that's an even bigger step up. It's like, it's one thing getting into the Champions League, but to then go on and win the Premier League, win the Champions League, that's a whole different kettle of fish, man. You got to then go above the Man Cities of the world. It's not just going above the top 4 teams. It's going above the greatest team, basically right now around in Man City. So it's going to be a very tough decision to make from Arsenal in terms of who they bring in, who they sell. But you got to make sure you nail it, man. Right now, it's very risky in the sense we're letting Xhaka go. We're letting Thomas Partey go potentially as well. I covered him earlier today in a video regarding Thomas Partey's potential exit to Saudi Arabian clubs. But if we can bring in the adequate replacements, that's all we can ask for as Arsenal fans, man. Not just adequate replacements, but also improvements. Don't just replace, but improve. That's what I always say, man, when it comes to transfers. But right now, it seems that Arsenal working on a second bid for Jurrien Timber, working in simultaneously with Kai Havertz's medical, which we expect in the coming days, and Declan Rice's third bid. Let's hopefully get this deal over the line for Jurrien Timber. I think it'd be a really, really good signing, a centre-back / right-back that can fit in perfectly for Arsenal, and he will provide that adequate cover as well. Because you saw with Man City, right? They've got 5 world-class defenders, potentially 6. You're talking about Diaz, Kyle Walker, Laporte, Stones, Akanji, Ake. Those are 6 world-class defenders. Whichever 4 out of those 6 you use, you're going to get a result. You're going to shore up defensively. With Arsenal, you've got Saliba and Gabriel, who for me have been top. Ben White's been brilliant this season. But then after that, you're looking at Zinchenko. Good player, but he's nowhere near a world-class defender. Kivior, okay, could be good one day, but still unproven. You bring Timber into that lineup, suddenly you've got 4 brilliant defenders, physical defenders, fast defenders, comfortable with their ball at their feet, all of them. Really good type of players, man, and versatile defenders as well. So I'd really love this deal to get over the line for Arsenal to bring in Jurrien Timber. I expect deals to advance in the coming days. The player terms have already been agreed. The player wants to come to Arsenal. It's all about Arsenal ironing out a deal now with Ajax to get the player over the line. Let's see what the second bid is up to. We've heard that Ajax want around 50 million euros. Arsenal are willing to offer 30 million euros in the first bid. Are we going to meet in the middle and offer around 40 million? Let's wait and find out. Of course, I'll be keeping you guys up to date with all sorts of Arsenal transfer news throughout this transfer window, including this potential deal with Jurrien Timber maybe come to Arsenal. So I'll keep you guys up to date as soon as I hear rumours or concrete rumours about a second bid going through from a reputable source in Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, notably. In terms of other transfers as well, I'll be keeping you guys up to date with the third bid coming in for Declan Rice imminently, I hope, as well as the Kai Havertz medical. I'll be dropping a welcome to Arsenal Kai Havertz video outlining his strengths, weaknesses, and potential Arsenal fit. You don't want to miss it. Those videos always go down brilliantly on this channel. I've been doing it for the past like 2-3 seasons now for all the players that have joined Arsenal Football Club. So if you want the full Kai Havertz analysis and breakdown, this is where you need to be. So make sure you subscribe, turn on bell notifications. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the potential Jurrien Timber move to Arsenal in the comment section. Do you want this deal to happen? Do you think this deal will happen? Or do you rather Arsenal target someone else? Make sure you drop a like down below so this video gets out to more people in the algorithm. And I hope to see you all in my next one. Take care.